Awesome. We are live. I am super excited to have Jessica Reynolds on. She works for L3 Harris Technologies, and she is a technical recruiter for the company, a veteran and a military spouse. She is here today to talk about L3 Harris and how they hire military spouses and veterans at the company, which she can personally attest to as being a military spouse and veteran herself. And also, this is her second LinkedIn Live for the day, so she is all over the place, and I expect you to see her face again, not only in this video, but some other ones that she was working on today. Jessica, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we'll talk about what you guys do at L3 Harris.
Absolutely. So I am a military spouse. My husband's in the Navy. He's been in almost 19 years, something like that. And we live in the Norfolk area where I'm from. I'm the unicorn of military spouses. I've never PCS'd. We've been here 11 years. And working for L3 Harris has been great. I mean, we're a huge corporation, 50,000 plus US employees, and military veterans and spouses are high on our radar, especially when you've got that great experience coming out of the military, or even as a flexible military spouse. Like, we want these people in our company because we understand the significance that they bring.
I'm pretty sure I saw a Happy Meal toy or something floating.
That was a Happy Meal toy. Hashtag COVID life. My 11-year-old daughter is home because today is an asynchronous day.
I live that life every day, and there's dogs barking and Amazon delivery trucks outside and the nanny popping in and handing me my kids so she can go home. I have that all the time. This year and last year has been such a year of grace and forgiveness for people with their, circuses going on at their houses in the background. So anyway, one day we're going to be having remember that time we saw a naked kid running in the background of somebody's Zoom meeting at work? We're going to have some of those, happy campfire stories.
Oh, mine are usually Disney movie serenades.
That's awesome. Oh, okay. So let's talk about L3 Harris. Okay, so first of all, my primary audience here is typically the military spouse and the veteran. And so let's talk about your recruiting initiatives internally and how you hire the military spouse and veteran community. Then we'll jump into tips and tricks.
So we are, as we speak, building these programs. L3 Harris has only existed since July of 2019. It was L3 Technologies and Harris Corp. And they merged in July of 2019. And so two medium-sized defense contractors became one really big defense contractor. So with that comes growth challenges. So now we're building these specialized programs, these hiring initiatives. Obviously, veterans have always been a diversity box. And so now we're seeing legislature that is talking about putting that military spouse as a diversity box. So now everybody's looking at us, the spouse, going, well, okay, I see you now. And L3 Harris is no different. And there's talk of programs and things to come, which I am so happy to be a part of. But as a spouse, I've been greatly supported. My husband's deployed. I work from home. I got a kid running around. I'll pick another one up in a couple of hours. And honestly, it's been a blessing. The whole company itself has been a blessing just from that perspective. And working with so many veterans, I think all but one of my hiring managers that I support are veterans themselves. So they understand that lifestyle and just the great soft and hard skills that are brought to the table by the veteran community.
That's awesome. And I love when I want to call L3 Harris Technologies an old dog because it's two old dogs put together. But I love it when I see a company that's been around embracing the military spouse community and welcoming them in. These things have probably been informally happening, but are formally beginning to be looked at now as a corporation. So that's great. All right, let's talk about when we actually apply. The application process drives people bananas. We have to send our resume in to a computer, whatever the process looks like behind the scenes for you. So tell us if we are interested in one of the, what did you say, 1,600, 1,800 positions you're hiring for?
At any given time, there are more than 1,500 open positions within L3 Harris. And that's, nationwide, worldwide, CONUS, OCONUS, all the places. And I will tell you, L3 Harris does not use the evil AI applicant tracking system screenings.
Oh dear.
If you are declined, it is solely based on the person who read your resume. Your resume is looked at by a real live human being. It is not the ATS. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. But honestly, reach out to a recruiter. Use LinkedIn. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, you already know how to use LinkedIn. Type in L3 Harris in the search bar, and then you can filter by recruiters. Reach out to us. I try to respond to everyone who reaches out to me, but I need you to do the legwork first. Look on the career site. Find a position that you're interested in and qualified for. There's the big one. And send me a little blurb and your resume and the job number. And then I'll schedule a time to talk to you. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, do I think that you'll make it past the recruiter to the hiring manager? Or maybe you've already applied to something and you just want to know the status of your application because you haven't heard anything and it's been a month. And sometimes that happens, and I'm sorry that it happens, but it does. I did a LinkedIn Live over the summer with Higher Military and Chris Thorne, and somebody had reached out to me. He's like, hey, I applied to this rec. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let me look into this for you. So I look it up, and he was still active. And yesterday he posted that he had accepted a position with us in Utah.
Amazing.
So it can be a lengthy process, and sometimes for military spouses, time is not on our side. But I promise to at least try to help you. Even if that means reaching out to a recruiter for feedback on why you weren't selected. All we can do is try to do better for each other. And that's really all I aim to do, is treat people how I would hope somebody would want to treat me in the recruitment process. So my inbox is always open. Jamie's going to tag me and stuff. Just let me know how I can help. Even if it's just, hey, like, I want to apply to this, will you look at my resume?
Okay, I will just say that in any process where there's a team of recruiters and they're manually reading your resume and it's a human, you have to give them a little bit of time, because if they have 1,600 plus job openings right now, there's however many, the whole army of recruitment and talent acquisition folks, and they have to read hundreds of resumes for each position. You got to give them a little bit of grace on that time period. So it may take a little bit longer. So if resume tips or application tips, reaching out to a recruiter, being proactive, reaching out and touching base and following up, I always encourage folks to be a proactive applicant. Is there any technical tips that you may have? Like, for example, I'm reading this job description. I fell in love with it. I feel like I'm pretty qualified for it. Is there anything behind the scenes that I need to know about my resume and the preference of your recruiters? Or is it all just based strictly on the qualifications of the job and that recruiter's screening of your resume?
There are always going to be preferences. Anytime you're dealing with a human in the process, there's going to be some sort of preference.
Okay.
And it should be visible in that job description what the qualifications are. And it is the behoovement of the applicant to make sure those qualifications that are listed as most important are at the top of your resume, whether it's a bachelor's degree or 10 years experience in underwater basket weaving, whatever the case may be. Like, make it easy for us to read. The easier it is for me to tell that you are qualified, the easier it will be for me to move you in the process. Now, say we're looking at creatively being qualified. Like, I've done transferable job skills, because that's a big thing, especially people who career pivot. And I've done it. I was not always a recruiter. 6 years ago, I managed a gym. So I've done it. You can do it. It's all about understanding how what you've done matches to what you want to do. And mentorship I'm a big fan of Mentorship, American Corporate Partners, Betterati, going in somebody's inbox and being like, hey, I'm really interested in this. Can you help me?
Mhm.
Like just a really nice, like humbled, please help me goes a long way with a lot of people.
I can attest to that as an individual. I never hesitate to ask for the help if they're available to give it. And because of just the willingness to ask and to be told no sometimes, those yeses mean a lot when you talk to somebody you really have no business talking to and get mentorship from them. So it's wonderful to just
I
reach
did
out.
it. I mean, I did it recently. I was on a call with our vice president of internal communications, and I just finished a degree in marketing a couple of months ago. And I was like, hey, I want to be better. Will you help me? And he was like, absolutely. I mean, he could have been like, nah.
Gotta ask.
Yeah. If you don't shoot your shot, you will always be told no. Mostly in your head, but you will always be told no.
We have a question about how many positions are virtual for veterans and military spouses. And I know that right now it might be a loaded question with the pandemic, but let's talk about virtual opportunities at L3 Harris. What kind of things do you have going on?
So the pandemic has, much like many corporations, opened the eyes at L3 Harris of things that are and are not needed in a physical location. Because before the pandemic, I worked in an office. I worked in an office building, and I had my own little desk and my 3 monitors and, whatever, what have you. Pandemic hit, boom, go home. And they made the decision to let us stay virtual. And many departments are like that. They're mostly virtual. So you do need to be located near the office because they come in once a week for a team meeting, or maybe there's something you need to do that needs to be done on site. It's really dependent upon the location and the program in which you're supporting. So I work for Maritime Services, and as a services group, we do a lot of skilled labor, electricians, welders. They can't work virtually. But we also have HR support, and we have finance and analysts and things like that, and they can work virtually. And we now on our career site have a remote filter for all jobs that are purely remote or some that are kind of remote.
Okay. Well, and L3 has such a huge presence near military installations anyway. What is the outlook for a military spouse who works there near a certain regional office? PCS is somewhere else. Can they transfer?
Again, dependent on the program and the function. Like TA, I don't have to sit near an office because there's nothing for me to go to the office for. Certain HR functions do need to be co-located because sometimes they have to go to the office. Program managers, things like that, typically need to be near the building. Financial analysts, they are loosening the reins on and can just be located somewhere near an office, not technically the office they support, just near an office.
Okay.
But we have people that, on my team that live everywhere from New Jersey to California on my team, and we support everything from Massachusetts to Louisiana, Utah, California, Texas, Oklahoma.
Awesome. Really good question. If you're a transitioning veteran and you're not quite out of the military yet, how long should you wait into your transition process to start applying?
90 days is the sweet spot.
Okay.
If you have a niche role, like my most niche thing that I work with is submarines.
Okay.
If you are on a submarine platform, I just made an offer for July. Guy starts the last Monday in July, and he got his offer closed Monday. So It's doable. Just if you're looking for more of a standard role, project manager, program manager, financial analyst, typically about 90 days is your sweet spot.
Okay.
If you're niche, but it never hurts. Again, just reach out, network, ask. The worst thing they can tell you is come back in 3 months.
All right. Awesome. As we get ready to close out here, is there any final words of wisdom you'd like to leave with our audience today?
It's hard. Job seeking is hard, and we know it. But if I can help you, please know that my inbox is open. I've done it. I've career pivoted. I've done all the military spouse things except PCS, because I guess I just am never going to need to. My husband really likes Little Creek, so I guess that's where we're staying. But let me know. Like, reach out. Let me know how I can help. If you want me to look at your resume, or if you just want to vent, let me know. We'll pour some wine. We'll get on Zoom. We'll call it a day.
Right. Awesome.
Knowing someone is there is really helpful. And being able to help others is why I became a recruiter. I was in business development for so long that I really wanted to be on the other side of the table, because helping someone find a job when they feel helpless is so soul warming in this bleak world we live in right now.
Awesome. Well, Jessica, I appreciate your time and you being willing to come on and go live with me for the second time today on LinkedIn. And everyone that was watching, thank you. Now or later, even after we're done streaming live, please ask your questions in the comments or just direct message us and we'll be happy to help. Thanks, Jessica.
Bye.